Good evening and welcome to my channel. Tonight, we'll be continuing our story of The Hearts of Argyle Godfrey by Nicholas Leonard. Chapter 16. Yellow, Dr. Tempest answered the phone a couple of days later. I had been surfing Indeed in my bedroom when my temper got the better of me and I had decided to call him. Look, I don't want to sound impatient, but do you have any notion as to when a potential donor might show up? It won't be potential. It'll be perfect. And this kind of thing is up to serendipitous chance, Mr. Argyle. Believe me, I'll call you and your mom when a viable match appears. Everything all right? Yes, I lied. All right, Mr. Argyle. I'm about to tee off, but my ringer's on if you need anything. Thanks, Dr. Tempest. All right, bye-bye. We hung up. I put my phone down and went back to perusing Indeed and all the receptionist positions that I would never hear back from. My phone rang. I answered it. Hello? Oh, Argyle. It was Heidi. Are you okay? Yes, I lied again. We miss you. You know, it's hard to have someone you like to work with leave so suddenly. I know. You were always very good to me, Heidi. I wanted to know if we could work something out. You've always been such a big help, Argyle. I just hate for the store to lose you. I didn't really know what to say. Well, you take care, Argyle. I don't know about the other supervisors or corporate, but I'll vouch for you if you ever want to come back. Thank you, Heidi, and I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault, honey. I gulped. Bye, Heidi. I hung up first only because it was too painful to speak to her for some reason. I returned my attention back to the screen of my Chromebook, looking at all the jobs where the supervisor most likely wouldn't give me free bottles of Powerade. I was pretty good at hanging up. Maybe I wouldn't have been a good receptionist after all. For a moment, I wondered if a heartless person like me could work at the DMV, but then I remembered that they were actually nice to me when I went to take my learner's permit. I took this moment to simply hold my heart as if I'd be the last person to ever hold it. My finger traced the green aorta stem and went to feel the grooves the glasswork had. Its wrinkles mimicked those muscle has. It couldn't fill and swell and then compress. My finger on its surface tapped, and in reply I heard the fragile ding of my glass. My fingertip with heartbeat cadence tried again to no avail. No animation of my heart prevailed. How sweet it would have been to watch the glass defy physics, to see it start to undulate in and out of itself the way a heart does, with all the folded muscle obedient to some amazing cadence never stopping. Wait, I murmured to myself while petting my vitric heart as if it was an injured dove. I was like a child waiting to see one of its wings twitch, petting it in search of a coo. How many people get to hold their hearts? I thought about my picture on the fridge, carefully, very carefully. Maybe it was too late for an epiphany, so I wasn't allowing myself to have one then, but I think one was trying to bubble up within me. My mom came in. Honey, I'm going grocery shopping. Do you want anything? Chicken nuggets, I answered mid-trance. I only saw this in my peripheral vision, but she paused in the doorway, tilted her head and said thoughtfully, You took it out again? Yes. How are you feeling? I don't know. Have you heard back from anyone yet? No, I said, still enchanted with my vitric heart. I snapped out of it. Hey, Mom, do you remember my going away party before I left for boot camp? Yes, everyone in the family was there. That was when we still had the basketball hoop in the driveway. I swallowed, turning back to my heart and saying, I know it's silly, but why didn't we ever have a coming back party? You were so different. That idea never even crossed my mind. You needed your space. I knew she was right, but while looking at my heart, I thought about the prospect of having a kind of party to celebrate every one of my failures. Or when I got back from Idaho, I mused. Argyle, should I call Dr. Cibola? No, Mom, I'm just reflecting. And what's making you do that? I failed again. Argyle, and it doesn't feel as bad as before. You can go grocery shopping, Mom. I'm going to keep searching for a job. She started out of my doorway. All right, but I'll have my ringer on in case you need me. Love you. Love you too, Mom. I got the call at the end of August 2023, while I was in a job interview, no less. I drove home whereafter my mom drove me to Salem Hospital on Highland Avenue. Except that isn't exactly how it went. The wall of Pine Grove Cemetery was now running past outside the passenger window. We were doing a smooth 35 miles per hour, and I had my glasswork heart between my legs while I watched the mossy cobblestones reel past us. Mom. Yes, honey? Stop the car. What? Mom, stop the car. Argyle, we have to get there as fast. Stop it, I cried. She pulled over. What is the matter with you? She breathed. Are you scared? I just looked at her with the most serious expression I think I ever had in my life. I opened up the door and got out. Argyle, she shouted after me, still holding the steering wheel. Argyle! I walked through the open gateway of the cemetery with my heart in my hand while Pine Grove accepted her shout after having so few mourners break out in caterwauls. Where are you going? I didn't answer. Instead, I walked towards the oak tree, half entranced, half with one hell of a purpose. My mom started running after me, but I was ignoring her. Argyle, we can't lollygag. In case there's traffic. These things are so time-sensitive. Still, I ignored her. I stopped before the Nerium, now a little wilted with the corners of its petals brown with decay. My back was to my mom, and I got the sense she had stopped some lengths behind me because she wanted us to rush back to the car quickly. You need this new heart, she begged. I looked down and waited carefully, very carefully, too ensnared in the swamp of an epiphany to tell my mom that I didn't want a new heart. Argyle! This glasswork heart isn't quite broken yet, I muttered to myself before kneeling down and putting my fingers in the earth. The journal entries end here. I am someone who works for the UNOS, the United Network for Organ Sharing, the organization that tracks and oversees the transplants of organs. I work administratively in Region 1 for the UNOS, which oversees organ transplants in New England. I was at first alerted to Argyle Godfrey's behavior when he denied a heart for the 5th time. This 5th denial was in May 2024. Since then, I've tried arranging meetings with him, his mother, and his doctors, but have been ignored every time. The only response I ever got was this journal being sent to me in the mail, which I received last week. I've combed through his journal twice, and I still am not 100% sure why Argyle continuously denies these hearts. It's March 2025, and it's about to be April 2025, and Argyle has just denied his 18th opportunity for a heart transplant, with his 18th heart going to a 36-year-old father of 2 in Concord, New Hampshire. I know this because I get notified whenever he does this now. I'd like to know where he is, or what he's doing for work, but I don't have access to that information. Confidentiality forbids me from trying to know these things anyway, though I've thought about trying to figure out ways around it, because I really want to know what keeps causing Argyle's change of heart, pun intended. I want to know if he knows what he is doing. I think he does. One more thing, and now I'm no literary nerd, but I would have sworn of there being instances of iambic meter strewn throughout his journal entries. That's the one thing I'd like to ask him about, if he wrote those sections that way on purpose. I like to think that he is unaware of that part. I like to think some part of him beat itself into his words. I like to think he fills that supposed void in his chest with the image of somebody waking up in a hospital bed with their family surrounding them, beaming down on them, and with one of Argyle Godfrey's hearts beating triumphantly inside them. It's now June 2025, and I have to add this little note. Curiosity got the better of me, and I drove down to Lynn, Massachusetts on one of my days off and walked through Pine Grove Cemetery. I must have spent a good hour walking around until I found one solitary oak tree. There was no Nerium or rosebay or flower, but I came down and swept the dirt about until I started scooping up the earth. My nail scratched something cold and hard, and not wanting to see it, I carefully, very carefully, replaced the dirt and patted down the earth. It was when I stepped back that I got a call from a coworker who told me that he had denied another heart again, and I had a very good, triumphant, somber, but victorious feeling in my heart. I just so happened to turn around while I was still on the phone when I saw a man in the distance looking at me. We exchanged a knowing look across the sea of tombstones, though I'm not sure what was communicated between our eyes before I watched the man simply just walk away. Thus ends The Hearts of Argyle Godfrey by Nicholas Leonard.